Maybe they did get rid of having to sign with Xbox for this game. Huh. Okay, sound's back on. Yeah, I think they do that with a lot of games lately. Yeah, I always hate anything that makes you sign in separately to like Microsoft or Xbox or anything like that just to play a game on your computer. Can still sign in Microsoft account for God, but it only really matters when playing with friends, so they all need to be signed in with Steam or all with Microsoft. Okay. So it's or now, not that you have to be. When I played a while back, when I first played that game, you had to sign in. You had no option. You just absolutely had to sign in with like your Microsoft account. You said you've got to have an EA account to play Need for Speed. Yeah, like why, dude? I don't know. That's stuff like that that I can't stand.
Moo!
All right, thank you all. Hey, Small Cat, thank you for the 20 months. Noran, thank you for the 5 months. Nick, thank you for the 18 months of Prime. And Chirpy, a Prime overnight. Thanks to that person. Glad a lot of companies are getting rid of it. Sure, Ubisoft will be the last holdout. They're clinging onto Ubisoft Connect for dear life. I think them and Capcom. Capcom does like you to be on your Capcom creator account thingy. So there's that. But yeah, I think just having to sign in to every little thing to play it is annoying. I would say if they made it like an MMO, where you have an account just for that game, I would get it, but I'm tired of everyone trying to onboard me to their like big old service. Capcom's is just a site signing on another app. Yeah, exactly, exactly. They send you to their site and they're like, yo, sign in, and it's just like an MMO. But yeah, when they make you open an app and like Ubisoft Connect has to, you open a game on Steam and then Ubisoft Connect opens and then that opens the game. It's just like, it's just garbage. It's using resources on the computer. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really help anyone when they could just do what they want with the whole connection thing and just do it on a site. What they want is your sign in, right? So I don't know. Gundam, thank you for the 5 gifted subs, by the way. Appreciate that. And Nomadicone, thank you for the 17 months. Hunchul, thank you for 31 of Prime. Jesus. Thank you. Frostdwarf, thank you for the 7 months. But yeah, I think all the sites should be the ones that you sign into, not the, like, apps that they have. I just don't understand the point of them having an app. I think I know why they did it, right? A lot of companies probably wanted to try and get you to buy games through their app instead of through Steam so that they would get the cut, which is a totally valid thing. But I think it's obvious by now that they're not gonna unseat Steam from where they are. So they should just try to have better contracts with Steam. Honestly. Sign in Adobe Premiere to play Drop Duchy Apocalyptic Endgame. Right? Like, I just want to I want to crawl into a hole and die when they try to make me do crazy shit. I just don't want to open... I'm something I'm very tired of, too, is I'm tired of turning on my computer, and anytime I try to do anything, I have to open 5 things. Right? I just kind of want to open one thing. Steam launcher for my games? Cool. Great. I could take any game that's not on Steam and I could have Steam launch it. You can add them to your Steam library. You just add the exe in there and you're just like, yo, this is called this. And it's like, okay, I used to launch Monster Hunter Frontier from Steam, you know? And then play like that. So Steam kind of does it all already, and I don't want to open 5 things. Hold on. Sorry, I'm answering a work DM real quick. Capcom's ID thing is part of the crossplay network. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, I'm okay with it because it's through a site. You know what I mean? Like, it's not taking resources from me to log into it, and then I don't have to leave an app open or something, you know? So I don't mind that. Can I ask you guys something? I really need to know. I'm going to maybe ask in the Discord as well. I need to figure some things out. I need to know, did anyone, when I announced I was leaving Bishojo, did anyone buy merch? Did any of you purchase anything? When I was like, hey, this thing will be closing down by the end of the week. Yes, I did. Okay. I only need a couple people saying yes. I don't need to know how much exactly. Okay. You bought a keycap and received it. In the time between, like, you mean, I said, hey, I'm leaving in 2 days. Make sure you purchase before then if you want it. And then you said yes and you bought it and then you got it since, is what you're saying? How do you feel packed with your code of accounts? That does matter as well, yeah. That Friday, I think. Okay, thank you. That's exactly what I needed to know. Thank you. Sorry, there's still so much I'm figuring out on the back end, and I'm trying to make sense of some things, and that just asking you guys direct helps. I appreciate it. One sec. Okay, there we go. Sorry, it's been my own personal hell the past couple months just trying to, like, get stuff sorted out. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I shouldn't have to be sitting here and like doing that kind of work at all. But I have to like sit here and try and figure some things out to make sure things are done a certain way or done correctly. And it's just, what can you do? My other option is what I say, fuck it. I guess I just don't need it. Right? Like, so I can't give like detail, but it's so stupid. That's all I'll say. It's so stupid. It's stupid and not hard. Not gonna lie, not shocked, and I don't envy your position. Yeah, I'm not shocked either. And no, this is not just a merch thing. This is like getting everything done. Nothing's done. Isn't that crazy? Nothing's done. Even though I've been trying for so long to get people to get things done. So I'm just still working on all that on the back end. How? Well, maybe I'll be able to talk about stuff at a later date. But I'm doing my best to make sure that everything that affects you guys should be taken care of. So if there's anything, check your emails and write down, you know, any information that you have. If you got like ordered something you didn't get it, etc., and just make sure you keep that. If there are further issues, I may do the thing I did last time where I open, I like encourage everyone to open mod tickets so that I just collect that info myself and handle it as best I can. So we'll see. If details about an order would help. Yeah, Glumpy. No need right now. I'll post in the Discord and say stuff here if we need it. But yeah, just make sure you guys like have whatever that info is for you archived on your own end in case I ask you for it, just so that you don't get like screwed over not getting something or something like that. You don't have to necessarily think that that's going to happen. It's more like I'm just ensuring, you know. Hopefully the ducks are lined up, etc. They're not. But I'm trying to get everything, you know, fixed or done or something, so I don't have to think about it. Like I shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like I shouldn't be doing any of it. It's not my job, but, you know, I always take care of my shit. You ordered yours months ago? If you ordered a keychain, the key ring specifically, those were being manufactured this month and being sent out this month. So if you ordered that plus other stuff, then they were waiting to have all of those things made before sending it all out instead of sending you 2 shipments and making you pay double shipping. So yeah, if you ordered a while back and you ordered a poster and the key ring, they had the poster already. They left it on a shelf and they were waiting for the key ring to be done. So that's why if you ordered something a while back, you may not have gotten it because it was all key ring dependent. I believe you should have gotten an email saying something about the keyring, being like, hey, by the way, it's July, because originally we were going for June, but the prototyping needed a couple back and forths to make sure it was right, so it got pushed back a little. But we got it right, and then, yeah, so that's this month that's all been, like, worked on, physically, like, manufactured, and being sent out. So I know some people got their key rings already, but yeah, if you didn't get something yet, and you ordered a keyring, that might be why. If you didn't get something yet and you didn't order the keyring, there's no reason why you shouldn't have gotten it already. So you should email support and log that info down for me. Okay. Apologies, I don't want to make you guys have to do any work at all. but I want you to get your shit. You know, so do write it down. They sent the poster, but you're still waiting on the keycap and keychain? Really? They sent you the poster separately? Stuff like that makes me worry. Stuff like that makes me worry that what if they send one mark off sent and then, you know what I mean? I don't know. Has anyone gotten to... Go here. Has anyone gotten 2 shipments from ordering merch recently? Like one order and you got two things. Same with you. You got the pulsar, but I haven't got the keychain or keycap. Okay, I would write that down. Write that down. Let me make a note. Sorry, I'm like sitting here doing work shit, but... There we go. Sorry, I'm just sending along information. I can see why you're saying you're not doing pre-orders anymore, because goddamn, it seems like a hassle. It's not just because of a pre-order system, though that is a big factor. Yeah, I am much more in favor of, again, certain product types you have to do on a pre-order basis, and that's okay. That's okay. Or like certain timelines you just have to. But for the most part, I just want to do like buying things up front. But, you know, depends on who's handling pre-orders. Yeah. Because yeah, exactly. It's tough, man. It's tough. But yeah, chat, if any of you ordered stuff, please, like, write that shit down. Get it to me. You would think that I'd be able to poke somebody and be like, can I just have a sheet with data of what has been sent and what hasn't? I've never seen anything like that. I would love to have something like that. I really hope it exists. So I'm gonna do my best to try and find that if it exists. And hopefully it's maintained or something. And we'll see. Yeah, well, I'm saying you would think, because that does make a lot of sense to me that that's how you run shit. But, you know, so we'll see. To check the warehouse yourself. Well, I wouldn't put the fault on the warehouse, but we'll see. I gotta look into shit now. Want us to forward info for items we know got delayed? Yeah, if you have something with communication, without communication, whatever, just something you haven't gotten yet, and you want to tell me the status of it, just go into the Discord server, open a mod ticket, and be like, GEEGA asked for this. Here's what I ordered, and give whatever information you can. Order numbers and stuff would be great. Yeah. Because there are a lot of moving parts. There are a lot of different people with their hands on the process, so, you know, I don't know who does know what. So I just want to have what I can. But I will say a lot of people have gotten stuff, so I don't anticipate it being a ton of people or anything. A lot of people have gotten their stuff, and it's been fine. So, yeah, I just want to make sure nothing falls off. You know? But we'll see. Right their ass, they have a better list. Again, you would think. No, we'll see. Someone somewhere probably has something. I'm sure, like, the warehouse itself probably, like, has better information, but, you know. We'll see. Do you have a cold? You sound like you have a flu, or is it just me? No, I don't at all. I'm not sick. I'm not sick at all. What is this Templar? Templar, I am what you see on the screen. Exists but it's all an MS Access database. Dude, fuck it. I hate Access. Oh, fuck Access, man. Dude. It shouldn't even exist anymore. I know why it does, but, like, God, I always hated working with it. MS Access can die. It can die. Is this about remaining stock? It's not just... No, it's a lot of things. It's everything. Include other items in the same order. They're not your merch or just your stuff? Oh, that's a good point. Just my stuff, but then do the order number, so if they look it up on their end, they could be like, oh yeah, they ordered these things from this other thing, or whatever. yeah, do let me know. I'm just trying to get stuff sorted out as best I can. And my question wasn't triggered by like, oh, I think some people haven't gotten things. It's like something else that I needed answered. It was more just like, was there any income? Did anyone order anything during this time period? So that's helpful that you guys have just at least answered that. But I'm gonna look deeper into the other stuff just to make sure. Either way, just as a separate thought, like I'll also check into the orders themselves and all that as best I can. Yeah, TJ, if I'd love to talk a lot. If I could. I would love to, but, you know, the only things I can mention are the things that are the least headache, which is this kind of stuff. So, you know. Hi, Joel. Hi, Joel. Oh, Joel, I have to send you a message. I've been meaning to. Hold on. Okay, okay. Oh, I've been meaning to tell you this, Joel, and then I like forgot. I was like, oh, I want to tell him this thing, and then yeah, there you go. But I see you. I see you. I hear you. I send to you. There we go. There we go. Terrifying thing to hear from you. That I say, oh, I've been meaning to tell you something. Yeah, well, I thought you'd like that one, Joel. I thought you'd like that one. I'll tell you more later when I have a moment and I can just like voice note. Guys, I've been voice noting so much. I love voice notes. That's what I realized. I just hate that you can only do it on your phone. And I mean on Discord. So if you're using mobile Discord, right, you can hold the little voice button and just record and just send it, right? And I've always used them here and there, but I've just been using them so much because there's just too much to type. There's just way too much to type sometimes, you know? So I just sit there and hold it and talk while I'm like doing something. And it's been one of my main methods of communication now. Sounds gonna be so easy to implement on PC. Yeah, I don't know why it's not on PC. I kind of wish it was. Because I just like leaving voice notes back and forth for friends, so it's kind of like we're in a call, but not really, and we're not, you know. Should be a button next to the emote button. No, I don't have one. It's not there. It's only mobile. Oh, Joel. Oh, Joel. Just type faster. I like to think I'm actually not too bad at typing. It's just like when I'm trying to sort out a bunch of it, there's a lot of info in my head and I'm trying to relay it quickly. I'll always do so much better verbally than typing it out. Because I'll be typing, I'll get through like 75% of it, and then I'll forget the last 25% because my brain was so focused on typing it out in the right way where it makes sense, blah, blah, blah. Right? Like, it takes more focus from me to type it than it does to just say it in a voice note. For me, at least. So, I like to, do that. When you're typing on stream, you sound like a fast typer. I'd say I'm a fast typer, but not, like, accurately. If I do those typing tests and I'm trying to stay accurate, I'll make a lot of mistakes. You know? I don't know. The words get stuck. Yeah. Use the voice recorder for work stuff. Yeah, I used to when working out of a thought. I used to do that where I would record notes on my phone to myself all the time. But it would be speech to text. So that way I could review it really quickly. Because I'll always take in information way faster when reading it over, you know, hearing it, because that's at someone's pace. So when delivering information, I like to say it, but when taking in information, I like it written. So I would just like speech to text my notes at myself. I do it all the time. It's nice. Your biggest email took 5 minutes to explain to a client in a phone call. Yeah, I mean, it's just quicker. I'm just interested in not wasting people's time, you know? And also, I'll be honest, when I send people information, I type a big ass message, they don't retain it. They don't retain it. But if I say it to them, they retain a bit more, usually. So I'm way more likely to go through and just like, you know, voice note at people because I know they'll actually retain more of it, right? I think it's the way you say things, the inflection you say things with that makes them more likely to retain the information. Whereas when they read it, they're just skimming, honestly, half the time. They're just skimming, which I kind of get. I kind of understand, but I don't know. I don't know. Typing helps you so much with ordering your thoughts. Yeah. With keeping things organized in order, I would much prefer to write things down. It's more so when I'm trying to explain something to someone. When I type, I get pretty wordy. Even if I try to make it succinct, I try to whittle it down. Then I have to go back and proofread and whittle it down, right? So I'm not a naturally succinct typist. When I'm like first writing it down, I have to go through and do pass-throughs. And that just takes more time than if I just sat there and recorded a voice note. And if I go into something thinking I'm trying to be succinct when talking about this, then I can do that. My natural state is to talk a lot and say the same thing 3 different ways and just say a lot of words to say something simple, you know? but if I go into it knowing I'm trying to keep it like to a 30-second voice note, then I can do that, you know? Much better at that than my first pass through of like typing out a message. I'm not good at that. Not good at that at all. Or in comparison, at least. With your ADHD, you do better if you read it because the very act of reading forces attention. That's maybe true for you. I know some people that have ADHD where they can't keep themselves reading because when they try to read, it's easier for them to just their brain just goes, I want to look away, and they just look away. And they stop in the middle and they're like, oh, now I have to start over again. And like, you know, then they're in a cycle where they can't get through it. So it depends on the person. I've heard both, like 50-50 from different people. You've heard some people complaining about voice messages. They have the same don't waste my time with a 5-minute voice note reason. Yes, but that's why I'm saying I keep it quick. I'm better at making a voice note short than I am a written message short without doing pass-throughs on it. You know? You need to see stuff. Yeah. I think the real thing is to speech to text everything and then clean it up. I think that's the way to do it. You can't read, you buy audiobooks because the person reading it makes it sound good. You mean you can't read and like have the same level of interest? What I would do, this is how I was taught literally when I was like a kid. I was taught to read it out loud to myself with inflection and like maybe read the same sentence a couple times, be like, how would this sound? And then sit there and read it again in my head, hearing that inflection. And I just did that over and over, and now it just happens. I can read something and hear it in someone else's voice. I can audiobook it in my head. I can read dialogue and read it with, you know, like I hear different voices for different characters in my head, stuff like that. But it's practice. It's just practice. There's no like, oh, I'm so special. I have these innate abilities or some crazy shit. It's just practicing it like that. But you have to go back and like pretend you're fucking 5 years old, you know, and you're trying to learn to read with inflection in your head and just practice it, and you can get better at it. You just have to do it. I think most people, once they get past being a kid, they don't get taught to practice like that. Yeah, practice hallucinations, literally, yes. Yeah, and practicing visualization too. You read a passage and it describes what it looks like, and you try really hard to picture it. Some people read and skim and like they picture stuff instantly. They do that because they sat there and learned how to do it, right? I believe that that's all learned skill. I think you're better off learning it when you're a kid because you can absorb the type of ability a bit faster. But you can do it later as well, you know? Unless you have some sort of special condition. You're like, oh, my special eyes, I have aphantasia or whatever, but still. You know, in general, most people can do it if you're not good at it right now. Like, you can sit there and get better at it. You have to do it so mindfully, you know? It's like people when they're ill, when they're mentally ill and they do cognitive behavioral therapy, right? And you're teaching your brain to do very simple behavior changes, like stuff that's so innate to you, and you're changing that. Things in your brain and whatever it defaults to can be changed, right? So, you know, it's a good way to do it. Reading plays is also good for that. Yeah. Especially when it has like stage direction and stuff, and it's mostly dialogue. Yeah. Blew your mind that it wasn't inherent to some folks, like the whole Envision Apple thing. Yeah, well, some people genuinely have aphantasia, like their brain cannot produce imagery. A lot of people are just not good at it, and I think they say they have aphantasia, but they still visually learn. They still apply spatial awareness and stuff, and they still can kind of visualize something. It's just not that great, and they'll be like, "Oh, I have aphantasia," and I'm like, "No, you just don't practice this stuff." And like, you could, for sure. There's a reason they show the chart with like 5 different apples. Yeah, right. It's not like, oh, I can see the apple and oh, I can. It's like varying degrees of it, and it's just a skill level, in my opinion. Like, and anything like that you can grind, you know. Kinetic learning, audible learning, visual learning. I think there's another one. Is there? I don't know. I never. When it comes to stuff like that, I tend to not pay attention to it, if that makes sense. Whenever they're like, here are the types of learning, here are the types of thought, here are the types of, I don't really like, I don't like that stuff. But I'm not saying I think it's not true. I don't like putting a lot of things relating to cognitive function into boxes and buckets like that, because I feel like it's so intertwined that it's not always that simple. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I don't like that. Or someone will go, I'm a visual learner, I need to see everything, but then they're also very capable of learning in a lot of other ways as well, and they do just fine. They just really like visuals for like one type of thing. For example, like, oh, I'm learning how to do a sport, I like that shown to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's situational. And I know no one's saying that it's like not situational, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I do, but I don't. Always thought you had a bad sense of direction and you got better at it over time. Yeah, like for me, everyone has random little mental things that they're good and better at than other things, and the ones that they're way worse at. So for me, I'm really good at remembering where things are. For the most part, whenever I go anywhere, I do know where north is. I'm aware of where I am, and I'm aware of where north is, and I know where I am on the map. And if I look at a map and I'm like, oh, I need to walk 2 blocks north, 1 block east, I don't just remember that and count the number of streets. I also am aware, like, oh, the blocks are a lot shorter this way and a lot longer that way. And like, I'm just picturing the map in my head as I'm walking, in a way, right? And when someone asks me where things are in a place I've been a lot, and I know where landmarks are, whatever, I know where those landmarks are in relation to each other, because I just picture stuff on a map a little bit more instead of just like looking around me being like, it should be on the left or whatever. It comes from you living in a grid. Not every place here is a grid, no. Maybe Manhattan, yes, but a lot of other places are not like that at all. And I've also been places that are not grids and lived in places that have nothing to do with, you know what I mean? Like that type of formatting. But, you know, yeah, spatial awareness, right? Everything has always been like that for me. But that's just kind of like how my brain works. So if I've been to a place once and then I go back a year later, I've been really good at remembering even then where stuff is, right? I'll like walk out of the same place and I'll be like, oh yeah, there was one of these, let's go this way. And I can just walk to it without looking at a map or whatever. And that's one of those things I was always good at. So I feel like everyone has that, where like certain types of memory are better than others. It's hard to know how to apply that though. Like, how the fuck do I apply that? When I'm going places, like, I guess I don't go places anymore, you know? I don't know what you apply that to. And it's not like some crazy superpower. They're just other people that think that way too. But, you know, I don't know. You do the same thing, but your view is like street view, not map view. I mean, I could picture it both ways. You have eidetic memory, but you have to be locked in for that duration. What are the types of, like, memory? Like, how do they categorize it? You're talking about the one that's, like, short-term, right? See, I can kind of do that with, like, long-term. I don't know. My memory is not actually as good short-term as it is long-term. Not Rain Man enough for long-term. I'm really good with long-term memory, and then my short-term is middling. Pretty average, I would say. But then there will be, like, my ability to recall sights and sounds and tastes and things from a long time ago for things that not always felt that significant to me, just basic shit. I can just picture it. Like, I've told this story where I was, like, in a Red Lobster with a family friend, and he, like, reached his hand into the tank and grabbed a lobster out. I like, I told this story. I can picture the layout of that Red Lobster. And I remember what the road outside of it looked like. I remember where we were parked in the parking lot when we walked from the car to the entrance to that building. Like, I just remember all of that. You know what I mean? So for me, like, a lot of my more significant memories, especially, like, I can remember all that stuff. The visuals of that. You know, and, like, I can remember, like, how many people were generally in the room and stuff, but I can't, like, picture their faces. I couldn't tell you, like, what date it was, like nothing like that. It's just visual, you know? I don't know. So I've always been good at that kind of stuff, but what do you use that for? It doesn't really help you with anything. You know what I mean? Because I'm not, like, remembering cool, interesting facts or anything like that. I'm just like, oh yeah, I could visualize this thing instead of just telling you about it. Cool, who does that help? Me? No one else. You know? I don't know. I don't know. You have memories from very early childhood but struggle recalling things you just saw if you didn't commit them to memory well? Yeah, yeah, that's how I am. That's how I am too. I don't know. One day you'll be witness to a crime, maybe. Ooh, yeah, and then I'll sit there and, like, fully play-by-play recount it. Ooh. Yeah, I'd be a good PI, maybe. Maybe. I don't know, but that's only, like, when my brain decides a thing is important. When it decides it wants to memorize that, it will. I can't, like, sit there and be like, let me take this in so I remember it forever, and then I stare at something and I commit it to memory. Like, it's not a choice. It's just, I'll look back and be like, wow, there's certain things I can remember very vividly. You know? And at least as far as I know, it's been pretty accurate, because there are a lot of places where I've been like, oh yeah, this place was like this, situated like that. There was a chair in this corner. It looked like this, blah, blah, blah. And then I go to that place 15 years later, like a house I haven't been in a long time, right? And I look and I'm like, oh yeah, it's exactly as I remembered. So at least I feel confident that it's not always my brain, like, making shit up. But sometimes it could be. I don't know. Your brain tricks you. You can remember any number related stuff like dates and codes for long term. I'm not the best at that. I am with some things. I remember people's birthdays fairly well, but not always. I think if I had a reason to remember it, right? Like, if someone had a birthday kind of near mine, I tend to remember it, you know?
Hey GEEGA, how's day going? I've got something for you, BTW. Like 50 of them.
Whoa. Hey, thank you for the 1,000 bits, man. Appreciate it. Like 50 of them. Thank you. Appreciate that. You have that with smells? Oh. Oh. There it is. Brimable King, thank you for the bits, and I appreciate the 50 subs. I do. Thank you so much. If you got gifted a sub, say thank you as well. Okay? Be good. We were talking about memory if you just came in. We're talking about memory and, like, ability to memorize some stuff well or whatever. I don't know. I'm not good at sitting there and committing stuff to memory really quickly. But if I read something, I can remember a lot of the facts that I read. If I watch a documentary, I can picture a lot of the images that I saw there, the images that were seen while they were describing a thing or, you know, whatever. So it's really like, if I like it or care about it or found it interesting, my brain will be like, oh yeah, let's keep that one. But if I'm playing like a little memory game and I'm not really like that into it, I'll just be like, eh. Are you face memorizer versus a name rememberer? Both. Both. Probably more face. I'm more likely to look at someone and be like, I remember this person, but what was their name? I'm more likely to be like that than to be like, oh, I remember the name. What did they look like? Typically, if I remember the name, I also remember the face. Usually. But if I remember the face, I don't always remember the name. But at the same time, I've... With my old work especially, and I don't mean my old work like my last job that I did before streaming. I mean before that, I met so many people, so many fucking people, and they all would come in and they'd be like, oh, hey, great to see you again. And I'd be like, hey, and I would remember their faces. I would remember things that they told me. I'd remember what we talked about 2 months ago, the last time I saw them, just some random, like, you know, customer person kind of coming in. I'd remember all of this. I could not remember the name half the time. Yeah, hey, you. But no one ever minded because I could recall stuff that we talked about. I'd be like, oh, you're the person with this job doing this thing. Oh, you're an artist. You said you did portrait painting. How's that going? Like, I would remember that stuff, but the name half the time I'd be like, what I would do to make them not feel bad, I'd be like, oh my God, how's the painting going? Sorry, what was your name again? We were talking about the painting and all that stuff, you know? And I would like, so that way they knew like I remembered them. I wasn't just like, fuck you, you know? But then, you know, it lets me slide in the, what was the name again thing? Right? Just like slip that in there real quick, you know? Real fast, real fast. Makes sense why you crush Mike's trivia section? Yeah, a lot of that stuff is not like stuff that I'm super, super interested in, but like maybe I read about it once and I'll remember a lot of that stuff sometimes. There's also plenty I won't. I don't know. How's your painting going, you piece of shit? Yeah, hey, you stupid idiot. How are the portraits going? Dummy. Was you working as a barista at your last job? Yeah, when you work a job where, like, you meet a lot of people and a lot of them become regulars and everything, like, it's just so many people. Your brain is not meant to retain that many people and all their names and information and everything's going, you know? So instead, like, if they said something interesting or they have a funny accent that you like, you see them and you're like, oh, that's the person who speaks like this, right? Those are the things that stick with you. But for me, the names just, they would fall out of my brain constantly. I don't know. You're great with the names, but you suck at remembering faces. The amount of people who would recognize you as your mom's kid was unreal, and you were like, nice to meet you. Who's this again? Oh my God. No, I always had the same experience of so many people knowing me when I was really young. So many people, because my parents, especially my dad, but both my parents knew a lot of people for a lot of different reasons and would see them infrequently. So like I'd see one person every like 3 years. I'd see this person and I'd see them and I know their face and I'd be like, I'm pretty sure we're chill. I don't know why. Like I have no clue who you are, you know. But they'd be talking to me and they'd like know shit that I told them 3 years ago and I'd be like, yeah, well, that's going great. What can you do, man? But it's sometimes it's family, but it's usually not even family. It'd be like these family friends. And they're people that are like family in a way. The way they approach you is kind of like that, but I don't know. Oh, thank you, Privel. I appreciate it. Have a good one. You have so many relatives. I do too. You have like 35 plus cousins. I wonder how many I have. I think I have around like more than that as well. God, I don't know. Yeah, full first cousins. Not even like their kids or like other shit, you know, just like actual first cousins. Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot. I don't know. Just need to know who your mom and dad is, cuzzo. Yeah. Because my parents had a lot of siblings. A lot of siblings. And they didn't all have a million kids. They had, like, okay numbers of kids. You know, it's not like everyone in the family did that. But when you have, like, 100 aunts and uncles and they all have, like, you know, 1 or 2 kids, like, it, you know, you end up with a lot of cousins. And some of them do have more than 2. And, you know. So you end up with a lot of family, a lot of extended family. And there's some that I don't really know that well. I've just seen occasionally. There was one I saw the other weekend that I hadn't seen in, like, God, like 8 years minimum, probably longer than that. And immediately I see one of my uncles. It's one of my dad's brothers. I see him and he's like, oh my God. And I'm like, oh my God. You know, like my family's all very, like, even if we don't see each other, we're like, oh, hey, you know, not awkward or anything. He's my godfather specifically. So he's always, like, felt specifically like, you know, this is my goddaughter, you know, like, this is important or something, even though he's, like, not religious. But, you know, it was just, like, relevant to him. It was just relevant to him. But I don't know. I like being close to family, even if I don't see them super often. And there are plenty that I do. You went to a family reunion and looked around. Who the fuck are these people? Do your families have reunions? What do you do with your families when you do stuff like that? Like when everyone comes together. Do your families do, like, just the food thing, or do you actually have, like, parties, like straight up parties? Drink, cornhole. That's the classic. Exist in the same room. I feel like a lot of it is just people sitting around and talking, and that's it, right? Catching up, and then they catch up for an entire day, and then after that it's done. If your family had a reunion, it would be just you and your granddad in a bar. Hey, it's something. It's something, which is good. Birthday parties. Massive dinner parties in Spain. Jesus. Japanese side, go to a nice restaurant. Well, you said the white side, nothing. Really? That side, nothing? Interesting. You went on an adventure tour set up by the oldest cousins, which ended in a paintball match. Ooh. I love shit like that. I love shit like that. Your aunt and uncle turned their 50th anniversary into family reunion. That's nice. I feel like a lot of people only see their whole families at weddings, and then that's it. It's like weddings and funerals, and then, you know, that's all. So turning a birthday or an anniversary, something significant, into a bigger party and trying to get more people together is, like, the best thing you can do. I would say, I know it's, like, awkward in your adult life. A lot of millennials especially don't really do it. Try to invite people over for shit. Just try, you know? Oh, it's my 30th birthday. Oh, it's my 40th birthday. Like, those milestones, my 50th birthday. Just try to, like, see if you can get them together and be like, but it's this number that's cool. You know? Oh, I'm graduating college. Wanna do a thing, you know? Like, because you don't really get many of those, honestly. So, and not everyone will come to everything, but it's good to try, at least. It's good to try. What is this question? What would happen to your bones if you lived past 100? Well, people have done that, and I'm sure you could Google what people's skeletons look like that have passed away old. What do you mean, what would happen to your bones? You mean while they're still in your body and you're still alive? I grind them up and I eat them, and I absorb the power of my ancestors, dude. Ooh, one reunion you had a huge barbecue on a lake and you were told to build your own boats to race each other. We duct taped pool noodles together to form a canoe and paddled. Didn't win, but it was fun. Well, I like that. I like that. You need access to a lake for that, though. You need someone who lives near one or a place you can rent. You know, it's on one. Which, there are plenty. There are plenty of those. So your great-grandma from your grandfather's side saw her when she was 104? Oh my god. That's crazy. I feel like people living past their 80s is pretty rare. Geckos, thank you for the raid. Stuff like that is, I don't know. Anyone living to their 90s is insane. Getting to talk to someone in their 90s is like a really rare experience, just because so many people don't live that long, and a lot of people that do, they're hidden somewhere. Like, you don't get to just go talk to them. Something you should do, something I loved doing. It can be a great and sad experience, so just, you know, it's not all perfect and wonderful. But I used to, when I was playing music, right, and I would play my cello, I used to go and occasionally just play at retirement homes and things, or like hospice and things like that. And I would just go around and just play for people. And there was like a foundation that would send me in there, and they'd pay me. It was like peanuts. I would get paid like $20 to go play all day. It was like, you know, it was like not really a good fee, but I didn't care. I would just do it. And I would go and I would play and just like talk to some of the people there, and some of them were all there, some of them were not, you know, whatever. But it was really nice, and it was really cool to be able to talk to people that, you know, were like 80s plus, and just hear whatever they had to say, I guess, you know. But recommend it that you can go, and you don't need to play music to do that. You can just like ask if you can volunteer. You can ask if you can come in and just do something. Some places won't let you. Some places will be like, yeah, you know, we have people come in and read things, right? You could just come in and read a book to somebody or something like that, you know, whatever it is. But and there are a lot of like organizations, foundations that send people in, so they have better ideas on stuff that you could help with. But yeah, their stories were fun. What was really fun was, okay, some of them had normal stories, but some of them had no filter left. They were past a certain point where they like couldn't really filter themselves anymore. So some of the stuff they said was crazy. And like, you know, a lot of people a long time ago, they had a lot more shame, right? They were taught to have a lot more shame and humility about talking about certain things. A lot of stuff was more taboo, but they like just didn't care anymore. Some of them didn't, they did have a filter. They just didn't care because they were like, I'm old. I'm not gonna be here very long. Fuck it. You know? Yeah, Graham was chill like that. It was funny to talk to some of them about it, you know? There were a couple of them too that I remember, they just wanted to like be able to help. And they were like, hey, you're like a nice young lady. What can I help you with? Do you need wisdom? What's going on in your life? And there were several of them that asked me about me. And they were just like, you have any social situations going on? You want any life advice? You know? And then so there were plenty that I would just talk about. I'd be like, yeah, this is what's going on. This is what I'm trying to decide between right now. And they'd just like offer whatever they could. It was genuinely really great, really nice. Some of them would give, you know, very archaic advice that I didn't really like. There wasn't much I could do with it. But when it was like about more so, here's what I think you will and won't regret, like things like that, that's shit that like only wisdom gives you. I don't know. It was really nice. Yeah, sorry, it's leaf blower. We always have street cleanup because it's all concrete here, and everything gets stuck in the drains, so they always have to like leaf blow it away. I always feel like old people are either happy or bitter. Now, I think they're just a normal sample of normal people, but plenty of them are, they don't have the same mobility they did. They get treated differently, etc. And there's a reason why they might talk to you immediately assuming you're going to treat them like just some weird old person. Or like, people treat a lot of older folks like children. Like they're inept, like their brains are slow and they can't absorb what they're saying. Sometimes they need something explained to them because things are like slightly slower, but it doesn't mean that their cognition is always like fucked up. And people treat them all like they're like all developing Alzheimer's, you know? So it really, I find that that's why a lot of older folks, I think, like kind of start off a little bitter because I think they're just defensive because people treat them like shit, you know? Or they don't understand a lot of things around them, and people are like not explaining it to them well. I remember one old lady that I would play for, she just wanted me to explain technology. And she wanted to know about the internet. And I would explain a lot of it to her. I wouldn't just give her a cursory thing and be like, oh, whatever. She was curious. She wanted to know, like, what are some uses? And I showed her, like, I was like, here's a forum. And we use this for a lot of different things. Like, a lot of people use them for video games or hobbies or something, you know? And I would show, like, explain what an account is and why you make one. And I'd be like, it's like how you send letters from your own address and you put your name on it. It's like that. You just get to choose the name. And then you post things in a spot and anyone can see it instantly, right? And like I would explain this stuff, and she was able to understand much of it so well because I explained it all to her. I wasn't just like, oh, you just send whatever. I didn't like skip 1,000 steps, you know? And I had so much fun explaining it to her that I was like, other people should just do this. Like, not all of them want to know this stuff, but you know, she did. She did. A lot of people don't have the attention span to try and work with them. That's really true. A lot of people are so fucking impatient. They're impatient, but it means that they can't work with kids well either. You know, it's not just elderly folk. Like, they can't work with anyone when it's that bad. You know? They can't work with anyone who's not in their 20s to 40s. How would you explain VTubers to them? Really simple. Do you mean VTubers or, like, streaming? What do you mean by that? Because both of those can be explained. It just depends on, like, I don't know, like which one you're trying to do. Because streaming's easy. VTubers specifically. That one, if I'm explaining what that is to like an old person, I would just be like, well, you know how they make cartoons and they draw frame by frame animations? They would be able to understand that, like, here's how we draw Mickey Mouse and here's how we animate him, right? And you could show them... No, you don't say it's Muppets with the cartoons. I'm saying they actually want to understand how it works, is what I'm trying to explain to them, right? Not the concept. I would explain how that works, right? And I'd be like, you know how Mickey Mouse frame-by-frame animation is, right? Show, like, old drawings getting turned into animations. Show them a video that shows that and go, now imagine if you had a thing that did this in real time. So there's a camera looking at you, and it looks at your face. And when you turn your head this way, it remembers... It knows what animation to play relating to that. Oh, head turned to the right. Right? If I blink, it knows what that animation should look like. So all it does is the camera reads what you're doing and then plays the right animation. That's how I would explain it to them. It's obviously there's a little more depth to it than that. But that's how I explained it to one of my grandparents. Who was like, I want to know how this works. And I was like, it's just animation. It just tracks what you're doing with the camera and then remembers what animation to play instead of like you just drawing individual scenes that are scripted. And one of my grandparents was like very normally able to understand how the shit works because they're not stupid, they're just old. You know? So that's all really. You think people rush conversations to avoid talking to elderly people? I think so too. I think people write them off. I think people look at someone elderly and immediately assume they're so different from them, they wouldn't be able to understand each other, they have nothing of value to say, and then they just like write them off and they're like, let me rush through this, let me send this person on their way. You know? I don't know. I think it's kind of sad because I have a lot of personal friends that are older. And they're just normal people that like to talk. I don't understand. I don't understand why people think they're so different from everyone who's a different age from them. And I think it's because people are like defining themselves by really stupid shit. Nothing fundamental. They define whether they're similar to someone or not based off of like, do they know about the same pieces of information? Right? Do you know what these memes are? Is your day-to-day schedule like mine? It's like stupid shit that doesn't matter that much. Instead of like fundamentally their values and things like they do. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's not really like the right way to decide if you're similar to someone or not. But yeah, like it's all like if they get my references, then I can be friends with them. Which is not how it should be, but I feel like a lot of people do that. I don't know. I don't get it. Depends on the older person. You're interested in talking to some people a lot more than others, but that concept is ageless. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know, man. I think you can explain anything to an older person if you just take time. And people don't want to take time. That's it. Categorize people by their meme knowledge. You can absolutely say that there's like a bigger likelihood that you're going to be able to quickly get along with this person in that you can share your interests with them, whatever, because they get these memes. There's that. But like, you could really easily tell if you're going to sit there and enjoy having a normal conversation about something mundane like the weather, if that person just has similar values to you, right? Or the way they talk and the way you talk just meshes. It's just simply the way you communicate with people. Maybe you speak very straightforward, very direct, and this older person also does, and you're gonna have a good time just speaking straight up to each other, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's not about it's not about what memes you recognize. And I like trains. Do you like trains? We do. Oh, we have so much in common. I don't know, but I enjoy older folks. I've always had a lot of older friends, and I miss some of them. I should call some of them. I have one in particular that I miss. I gotta call him. It's been forever. I've texted him a lot. But I haven't called him in a while. And I haven't seen him in a while too. There's like one place I just used to go all the time that I don't go anymore, and he doesn't either. So I don't like see him as much. But I gotta bother him. It's been forever. Also, I gotta say, I'm gonna say something that might seem mean. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna make it not mean because I don't mean it like that. There's a trend on Twitter where people keep tagging VTubers. Someone did this and they're like, I'm just shooting my shot, would love to collab with or talk to you one day. And then they tag like their 5 or like 10 Oshis or whatever. A lot of like smaller VTubers are doing this. I'm muting all of these. I'm saying this right now. They're flooding my mentions. I don't know any of them. It has nothing to do with the size of them. Some huge creator that I don't know could do it, and I'd mute them too, okay? I'm just saying this right now. It's a lot, and it's overwhelming for me. It's very overwhelming. If you're in my chat and you're thinking about doing that, please don't. If I follow you back and you want to DM me, you absolutely can, though. Absolutely can. Or if you want to make separate posts for separate people, I'd be way less bothered. It's just that they tag like 8 people, and then they have people commenting on it, and then my mentions get filled with like all these messages that have like 8 names tagged, and it's like physically just so much to look at. And I also feel really bad because I know I'm not going to answer any of them because I have so little time to talk to my own friends that I love very much, and it's nothing personal against anyone I'm not already friends with. It's just impossible. I'm not meant to have 500 close friends, So I don't know what to do about it, but I'm just saying this publicly. I don't feel bad about it. I will be muting those. I don't dislike any of these people for what they're doing. I just have to say it. If they want to make one where they tag only me because they want to tell me something specific, I will not mute that. It's just that they tag like 8 people, and then I get like 1,000 mentions or replies, and it's crazy. And it's just I'm genuinely getting overwhelmed seeing it. So for my own sake, I'm just pressing the button. I can't. Just shotgunning to get attention. I wouldn't say it's always something like that. Like, I'm not going to try to make it sound like it's some nefarious thing or whatever. It's just not a good method. All the streamers will be farm posting about how larger VTubers get human success in a month. Yeah, not always the same people, but people do both. Yeah. I don't know. It's too much. It's too much for me. I've said it before, and I'll say it again because people always come here and they ask, like, oh, how do you make friends with streamers? I have a bajillion friends that are big and large streamers and medium and whatever. Like, that has nothing to do with anything. If I think they're a little funny, or I like the way they talk, or if they're doing something that I'm interested in, I might go to their chat and talk. Then sometimes they come to my chat and talk. Then sometimes we end up following each other. We become friends. That's all. Or I meet someone through someone else. There you go. Right? It's organic. It happens naturally. Right? Yeah, it's all vibes, man. It's all vibes. Exactly. And that's, I have a lot of friends that I've met that way, and I have too many. So I just want to put a PSA, no offense to anybody, nothing personal, but I'm I'm not going to approach somebody who is like shotgunning at a bunch of VTubers on Twitter. I can't. If I have that time, I should be spending it on a friend that I love and value and don't get to spend enough time with. You know? I don't know, man. It's a lot, and it's overwhelming. Any thoughts on the Daily Posters trying to get fruit back? I see the appeal to support her, but Jesus is kind of pressuring her. Yeah, I think it's annoying personally. I don't know how she feels about it. I have not asked her how she feels about that. If it were me, I would be pissed. Not like very much. I'd just be like, that's annoying, and I'd mute them all. You don't get to decide when someone does a thing, and, you know, streamers can choose to stream if they want. It's a job, whatever, but they don't owe you anything. And trying to like bother them to do what you want, be like, give me a sign, as if you deserve to know what's going on in their life or anything. I know you'd like it. I get that. You're not wrong for being like, I wish I knew what's in this person's life right now or what's on their mind or whatever, but you don't deserve or get owed that by anybody ever. So, you know, I wish they wouldn't do that. Instead, if they just wanted to post and be like, I miss this person, I really like them, that's fine. But sometimes they like, I don't know, the way they ask is like really pressing, and it's weird. Because it just, I don't know, I don't think they're necessarily trying to do this. I don't think this is their intent, but they're indirectly pressuring that person, and I wish they wouldn't do it. You know? I don't think they're trying to pressure. Maybe some are, I don't know. Or just post fan art but remove messaging. Yeah, but you shouldn't repost other people's fan art. You know what I mean? But yeah, I agree. Like, retweet stuff, quote retweet it, and be like, oh. Saying and not adding them is one thing. Right? They're like different ways. Like, I think generally showing frequent support is fine, but like doing it in a way where it like ends up in their notifications, it's in their mentions, you know, whatever. Like you're trying to really directly get an answer. I feel like that's just pressuring. I don't think they should do that. Like, she exists. I see her like on Steam all the time. Like, she's fine, dude. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. She doesn't owe anyone anything. No, I mean. Yeah, she was literally in Nagi's chat while we were playing Apex, you know? Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Yeah, let her chill. Exactly. You know what, all I gotta say is, I don't want to see anyone like demanding, being like, I need to know what's going on with this person, demanding, and then the moment they start like streaming or doing anything, they're just like, oh, whatever, and they like barely show up. If you're acting like you care so much, you just better be there. That's all I care about, you know? That's all. Signs of life like that just sometimes aren't enough for people. Yeah, no, they need frequent signs of life, or they'll crumble and die or something. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with people, man. They care about the drama, not the person. Yeah, not always. Some of them do, and they're just misguided in how they're approaching it, you know? I wouldn't say that they're all, like, just caring about the drama, but there are also others that, yeah, they do definitely want, like, they want tea or something, when really it's just, like, there's nothing to find, you know? I don't know. If they're big fans, I get it. I get it overall, yeah. What I'm saying is I don't like when people like are directly tagging people and like demanding answers or something as if they're like owed something crazy, right? Like, there's a difference between just expressing it and then like going in on that person, trying to like pressure them, you know? That's what I'm talking about specifically. Not like everyone wondering is a problem. That's not a problem. That's fine. That's normal, you know? Trying to put yourself in the shoes of someone whose favorite streamer is on hiatus, but keep coming to the conclusion that doing this stuff will just stress them out. Yeah, don't do it. That's what I'm saying. Don't do it. Let people chill. Just let them hang out, you know? Anyway, I wanted to play a game. I wanted to try a solo run of Grounded, because Grounded 2 is coming out on the 29th, so 2 weeks from now. We'll see how much we can get through. And It's a game I think we can just talk a lot while I'm like sitting there playing it. I think it could be basically just chatting, depending on what I'm doing. So, it'll be nice. It'll be nice. So don't tag on Twitter. I feel like anything, if anything, I'd want 100 people to do it before me and it'd just be noise to them. Yeah. For me, I don't know. People can add me on Twitter. Like, they're just trying to communicate. That alone is not a problem or anything like that. I'll never complain about that. It's just when I see people all tagging, like, one person and demanding to know shit that just doesn't, like, you're not going to get to know. You know what I mean? Like, I just look at it and I'm like, give up. It's time. It's time to give up. You've been trying for a while and they haven't answered. Just wait. I don't know. Alright, give me 2 seconds. I gotta answer 2 messages and then we'll open this game. Checking 2 things. Okay. There we go. There we go.